Hello guys, in this video we are going to see how we can deploy a Flask web app uh, to Google Cloud platform. So as you can see here, we have a Flask web app for skin cancer classification detection using deep learning. And after once we train the model and create the app locally, and then we created a Docker image and then the Docker container of that app, and then we are now going to deploy this container of that app to Google Cloud platform. So let's see how we can deploy that container of this app on a Google Cloud platform. So here, as you can see, I'm running this one on my local computer. So let me refresh this one, and I'm choosing some random images from here test, and you can see how it works. So it's predicting uh, the image as a benign. Let's suppose if I click the button again, and so I'm choosing some random images from malignant. So you can see it's predicting the output of that image. So here is our Flask app that is running locally. So the aim of this video is we are going to deploy this app with the help of Docker container by creating a Docker container to the Google Cloud platform. So once we have this app, so I'm not going to explain the code of this application and how we created the Docker image. So if you want to see the whole step how the app is working and how we can build a Docker image, so I already have one video here where I was deploying the same Docker image to the uh, Microsoft is Azure cloud. So I'm using the same one that I have already here, the Docker container. So to make it short, I'm not going to repeat the whole steps that I already have here. So I'm just showing you how the app looks, and I already have the Docker images where I explain all the steps of Flask application, how I built, and then GitHub, and then how we created everything. So as you can see here, so it contains everything. If you want to see how we create and how it works, you can go there. You can also look on this website. Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, sorry, I think there was something wrong with that. Yeah, so you can see the whole step here. I also define if you want to learn or build your Docker application that I'm going to deploy on the Google Cloud. So I'm going to show you. I already have the Docker container here. So as you can see here, I have the Docker with the name. As you can see, this is my application that I already have. So make sure I'm running. I created that Docker image on Mac operating system that I have silicon chip. So that's why make sure if you are working with Mac silicon chip, so you make sure you are creating a right uh, architectures, or I mean, so it should be AMD64 rather than if you have a Windows operating system where you can create 86 and 64 or architectures. But if you have a silicon, so make sure you are creating the right architecture, which is AMD64. Otherwise your app will not gonna be run on your cloud server. So as I explain everything in this blog, so you can go there and see how the app's working and everything. So let's go. So here we are going to see how we can deploy over this app as a container that I showed you. This one I already have that I show you here. You can see here we have this container in our Docker image uh, Docker desktop you can install on your locals, and I'm not going to explain how we will install the Docker. So I'm assuming you have you have a Docker in your local computer. So once we have that, so first of all, what you need to do, so suppose we have app, and we have the Docker image, Docker container, that image that we can create. With the image we created the Docker container. This is we I'm assuming the whole Docker container. So we have the app and the Docker container. So now we are going to deploy onto the Google Cloud platform. So first, what you need to do, make sure, so if you go there, Google CLI, so click on here. So make sure you have this in your local Google CLI in your local computer. For example, if you have architectures like this, as I explained here, uh, if you see here, MAD64, I have a MAD64. So I actually, if you have a Mac OS with the operating system, uh, rather than silicon chip, so you will gonna have x86 or 64. If you have Mac iOS with silicon chip, so your operating system and your architecture is ARM 64. So you need to install this one. In my case, I'm installing this when I'm creating the Docker images using this architecture AMD64. So they define ARM, or so here we have a name with AMD. So we need to create an architecture with the help of this ARM, that we have the silicon chip, and we create our architecture AMD. So I'm pronouncing the same one, yeah, AMD64. So once you click on that and you install this one, so as I can show you here, let me close this one now, we don't need it anymore. So we have this folder in our local directory. So you will get this file as a zip folder. Once you click, you will get this folder. So once you reach on that folder, so you just open a tab here, a terminal in your that directory. Once you open that terminal and try to run this one, so once you run this command, so it will install the Google SDK in your computer. So once you have this in your computer, so you will gonna check. So I'm going to not explain how you can start, but it's easy. But you just simply click on here and just open a terminal here. So once you open your terminal in that particular folder or a path, so you can easily install it. So once you reach here, your directory is here. So just run this command dot this and that, it will install it here. So I'm sure once you have that one, so what you need to do, just open your Google any editor that you have. In this case, I'm going to use MS Visio here. So you have MS Visio, so you can check once your terminal. So check your G Cloud version. So you can see here I have a G Cloud version, Google Cloud SDK with this and that. So it's mean that I have installed this one on my local computer, and I also check the Docker version. So either I have a Docker in my computer or not. So you can see I have a Docker with the version this and the Google Cloud SDK, as I says as Google install the G Cloud CLI. So it's, and with the G Cloud CLI you can install Google Cloud SDK in your machines. So once you have both uh, Google Cloud SDK and uh, Docker, so then what you need to do? Just simply go into the GCP as I'm here and click on Google Cloud. So once you click on Google Cloud, here is your console. You just land to your console and just create an already have one project, so I'm not going to use, so we just need to create a new project here. So before that, make sure the Google Cloud provide you $300 free, as you can run and test application. So for that one, you have to put your credit card details. So it will not gonna charge you anything, but you must have to be attach your credit card. So then they give you access to the GCP. So then you can easily create a project here. So first of all, we are going to create a new project. So for here, I'm going to create a project as a demo. Let's suppose sorry, demo GCP flask app. Let's suppose we are creating this one. So as you can see, it's creating that projects. So we have that one now. So I'm going to that projects, as you can see here. So we have that projects. Let me try to open it again. So I'm going from here. So yeah, you can see, sorry, misspelled. So okay, I'm going to create a new one, so with the correct spell. I didn't check, sorry for that. Let's create a new project. So okay, so we will create a new project with the name demo GCP flask web. So I think that's okay this time. Yeah, the spells are correct. Let's see. Yeah, it's trying to create that one. So okay, so we have that project now with the name demo GCP. So I'm going to open that one. Yeah, here. So as you can see, here is a project name, demo GCP flask web, and here is the project ID that is created by default with a unique number and the project number. So these two are the important: project name and the project ID. So once we have that, so what we need to do, the next step is to go to your editor, whatever you are using. Or so I'm here in the terminal. So then what you need to do, G cloud init. I'm initializing my G cloud here, and as it suggests that here is my account and here is my uh, other detail, disable users report where, and here was the previously project I was working on. So here it says reinitializing this configuration, creating a new configuration. So we'll go to the creating a new configurations. So let's it say start with a lowercase letter, so you can press any letter from here. Invalid configurations are this and that. Okay, so we'll try some others letters where I was in it. So here create a new. So let's try this one. Google Cloud already exists. Okay, so this time we'll try some other letter. Let's pose this one. Okay, so here you can see select an account. So it's recommending to select an accounts that I have two accounts. So I'm going to select this one, and once I selected my account, so it suggests which project are you wanna work. So it's suggesting me this one and the second one and third one. So it's printing the IDs. As we can see, project IDs here, Wise, Imaginary, and something like that. So the third one is our project. As you can see here, so we have that this project, but you can also do it by running if you don't follow this step, you have another options, G cloud I didn't run because I already connected my Google Cloud to my local accounts. So you can also do G Cloud authentication logins. So once you press this one, so it land you to which ID you want to authenticate or allow. So as you can see, I authenticate this one. So you have two kinds of options where you want to do which one you want to I can say. So once you have this one, so what you need to do next, so your next step is to uh, you have Docker. We can check our Docker here and see how we can deploy on our Google Cloud. So for that one, we can try to look over Google Cloud project. Uh, so there we can set up our ID. For example, Google, we use a Google Cloud set project that we then project IDs that we have. So let's suppose if I'm here and it suggests a gcloud configure or maybe set the project gcloud configured set project and project ID. It's recommending us to use this one if we are using the authentication to authenticate with that. And I already opened this tab and here we have project ID. So we can paste our ID and let's see. So yeah, now it's set Google configure dot set, it set our project ID, this one. So once we have that project ID, so the next step is to see our authentication, which region are configure we will configure our Docker to authenticate with Google Cloud. So for that one, first of all, we will see that either we have Docker images locally. Yes, as we can see, we have two Docker images in our Docker local container, one with the name this one and the tag this and image ID here with this whole steps, and the second we have this one. So before doing this one thing is really important. Make sure if you go here and container registry, you have to enable your container registry. That is really important here. So it might take a few, yeah. So you need to enable this one, Google container registry API. That is important because as it mentioned here, Google container registry provides secure private Docker image store on Google provide. So we need to deploy our Docker image. So make sure you have enabled this one so it will accept and you can deploy Docker images to here. So I think it is. Let's see, is it created or still? Let me try one more. It take a bit time. Okay, so main, no, we can wait here and see that yes, and this time I think it is, yeah. So we have here Docker registry. So we need to create a registry here. So I'm going to create with the name Docker. So by default I'm not going to change anything. So I'm just going to create a registry GCP app GC repo GCP. I think that's okay. So repo GCP, and I'm not going to change any other setting. Regions, that's okay. It's you have multiple regions where you want to deploy your app, which cloud you want to use. So we will pass this one from our command. So we're not going to see anything here. We are not selecting. Let's see, we can deploy. So we need to suggest that one. So let's suppose we are choosing US center one. Okay, US center one, west. So if I go to randomly, I'm choosing this one, and then let's go. So we have repo registry. So after that, so when we have these two steps, then now we are going to tag. So I already have the command, I'm just copying and paste here. So then I will explain it. So here what I'm going to do, docker tag. So what need to tag this image, that the name of its here is quite long name. You can see Numan and Ahmed slash docker image, and then our tag up to this where we are deploying USS center as we define here, and then we have these two that we need to change these things, uh, target and the source path. So in our case, so this is the project name. So previously I was using this and the other, so I have to change that one. So let's go back, what is the project name here? So we have to copy the project name. So okay, so I'm going to change that project name with that. Let's see, I can change it here or not. I'm trying to paste it here. Yeah, so project name and then repo, as I mentioned, repo was GCP repo. We will see uh, container registry, and we have here GCP dash GCP dash, sorry, repo dot GCP. So I hope so this is the correct name of the repository. Once we have that, so let's try to run. So wait for, yeah, it execute. So we tag our docker image to that server or cloud, to that cloud, and the project name that we have and the repository, and that repository here the image with the name that we are moving to or GCP. So after tagging that, what is the next step? So we have to push our docker image. So let's copy, I'm just, so this is really important here. So I'm just going to copy it to, okay, so here is the project name here. So I think you should know that. So we, okay, so here is the project name and the project ID. So we have to write, okay, so I just mentioned here the project name and the repository. So for that one, uh, so after that we are going to run that command, and I have another command, right? So maybe I'll just gonna copy the project name and see either the project name after that, and then push. So I have the push command with this name, repo GCP. So paste it here. So here we have that command, and let's see, either I can push, let's try to push this one. So as you can see, docker push, uh, then the cloud, and then the demo, project name, and the repository that we created, and the app that we have. So we got some error here. The error is permission is denied on the source repo, so it or may not exist. Do I have the same correct spelling? GCP repo GCP. I have to check why it's denying. GCP. So so I think we don't, for the project we don't need to write the project name. The most important is project ID. So I have to repeat that step. So as you can see here, the path name, so that was my mistake. So here, as you can see, and then we have Vice Imaginary. So then I'm going back to my project demo. So rather than copying a project name, so we have to write a project ID. So let's open it to the dash and project ID. So then we have to retag this. So where I was, sorry for that, we just need to rerun this command again with the project ID rather than the project name. Let's see, project tag. Once we have tag, and then we will push and see. Let's see, I'm just changing the project name to the project ID. Let's see. Yeah, now we can see it working. It's uploading those images. So it's the file is really big, so it might take some time. So as you can see, it's uploading all the containers that we have locally. As I showed you here, it was here. Now it created some tag and pushing that. Now it is created now for just for GCP. Previously we just only have these two. So now it's deploying to the server. So let me repeat these steps what we did, so then you will know. So first of all, we run gcloud init to initialize the Google Cloud. So after that I tried to show you then gcloud setup or something. So once you initialize your gcloud, it will ask you, it will give you option which account you want to select. As you can see here, so it will ask you, here is the content, and pick your configuration settings. So there is a one method of doing. So I would suggest you, we will going to choose another method using gcloud author login. So as you see above, I'm just trying to reach where we wrote author login. So I think somewhere around, I want to show it. So let's make it a bigger one so we can easily scroll it. So where, yeah, so I'm not going to show. So okay, so we will not going to run the gcloud initialize, because it will uh, give you multiple options to select. So you can do it by this path, but the more easiest one for you is to go with the other ones that we have here, gcloud uh, authentication login. So it will land you to your browser and you try to select your account which one you want. So once you have that one, once you run this one and you mount or connected your Google Cloud account to this one, and then what you need to run this gcloud configuration, set your project, set project with a project ID, not the project name. So what is our project ID? The project ID is this one, not that one. So you need to use the project ID. So once you do this one, project ID, the next step is, you can see over your local Docker images which you want to push. So here is that mine repository with the name this one and the tag this one. So as you can see, Google tag. So this one didn't work because we mentioned wrongly the this one project name, so which I'm not. So let's, where is the correct one? Yes. So Google tag your local image, and with the tag version that I specify here. If you do not have, you leave it blank, and then the center where we want to deploy, and the project ID, not the project name, project ID and the repository that we created. So and then you need to specify your application name. It's on you, whatever you want. You need to just specify your application names with the version, so it will create and deploy this one to your repository in your cloud. So once you have that one, so the next step is you tag and then push. So you just need to push, and make sure you have the correct project ID, not the project name, project ID and repository, and that one that you define. You just need to see that you are in the correct path by this one. You have the same one for both. So when you press, so it will upload all your Docker images and files to the your cloud. So it may take more time. So once it finished, so I will be back. So we can wait for a while. Let's see how long it will take, and then we will continue. So now we have successfully pushed our Docker container to the GCP registry. So we can have a look here. So here is artifact registry, and we have created one uh, repo repository with the repo GCP. Inside that we can see our file that we recently pushed. You can see here we have pushed files, so you can have a look. We have here Flask web app skin cancer. Here is the name, Flask web app skin cancer, that we, yep. So fine, once we push that file, so here we have on our GCP under artifact registry. Now it's time to run that repository. So how we can run this one? So for that one we need to use there is a two options. One I'm going to use by terminal. So let's try to paste my command that I already written. So there is a command that I already have written, gcloud run deploy with this app name, as we can see here, Flask web app, and then we have the image using that we have defined our uh, cloud where we are deploying. This is US Central one and Docker. Then we are project ID, then repository, then this one. So this and region, as we already have this one. So we already defined this one, the whole. So as you can see here, this is the whole repository path. So it started from here. It says image. So deploy the app name and then the image. So here is our image and the region that we have defined, US Central one. So let's run this one command and see how it works. So it asks some permission. Do you want enable this API to continue? This will take a few times. Yes, we want. Press Y. Enabling API on a project. So here is the project ID and it's enabling sub API. Operation as finishing successfully, and let's see, we got some error here. This command is a cannot access API this in your this project. This command is authenticated as this, which is active a specific core. Let's see what is wrong here. Let's try one more time and see why it's yeah, it's working. It start working now. Yeah, this time it start working. It will take a few minutes, and let's see how long it's gonna take. So then I'll be back again. So I'm just pausing the videos here because it will take some time once I finish this one. So then I'll be back and we will see the next step. So we have finally deployed our uh, Docker container on cloud, the region US Central location. As we can see here, and we got the URL. Once we click on that URL and let's see how it looks. Here is the URL as you can see here, and it will take some time and run the app. Let's see how long it will. Yeah, you can see here we got service unavailable. So why we are getting this one? So as we can see here, we have the Flask app. Let's go inside there. It's commonly how big is the app. So normally it happens. So we need to find cloud run. So cloud run. So here is the cloud run. And as you can see, our app is running on the cloud, Flask web app. And what we need to do, you can see the log and everything here, but I know why we are getting this error. I just rerun this link, and let's see, either we are getting this, we will get the same error. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the same error, but for to uh, overcome this issue, we can do here, we see edit deploy new version. So we are deploying a new version. Here is the port. We're not going to change anything, as I told you previously. So memory to allocate to each instance of this container is by default 124. So I'm just going to increase it by 1 and see. Let's see. So once I'm done and deploy again, so this time we are getting edit deploy new versions. And so here we have the new version. I'm clicking on this, and let's see this time either it will gonna solve our problem or not. It might take some time. We can wait for. So now you can see our app is running on the cloud. So it's loading the app, as you can see the title here, and yeah, here we have the whole app. So you can see we finally successfully deploy our app on cloud server. So I'm just testing this app. So it's picking some folder from, when I click on select your image, it's by default selecting my local directory. So here I have the test. So let's suppose I'm picking some random image and predict. So here you see benign, this time it's predict. Yeah, I tested that model with, I trained that model with a lower number, so it predicted wrong. Let's try another one. So yeah, it's predicting the really well malignant. And let's take some example from benign folder test data. Yeah, it's predicting the benign. So finally we have deployed our app on Google Cloud successfully. And now I'm just going to repeat what we have done here uh, step by step, so you knows each step what we did. So first of all, we just create a project on our Google Cloud, as you have it your Google, and we created a project on our Google. So you can create a new one from here. You just create a new project and you'll get some name and IDs. And after that I installed Google Cloud SDK, and you have Docker image in your local machine. So once we have done everything, and which command we need to run. So what we did, first of all, the step what you need to run. Here is the first command, Google authentic login. It will authenticate with your project. And then what you need to run, the next command is that Google configure set project, and here is your ID. I'm just writing here project ID. Make sure it's your own project ID that you need to do it. And the third step, you also need to go to container registry. So here is the container registry, where you make sure that enable the registry for the cloud. So once you done this one, so you have the third options it's you can do it from here on. And the other way is that you run this command to configure Docker with your center where you want to deploy your Docker. It's your choice, optional. It's your why? Because if once we are creating, if we see here, once we are creating the repository, we also get their option to select the region. So if you are doing by this, so you don't need that one to run here. So that's why I mentioned the optional. You need to define your US center, whatever you choose. For example, if you have other center, you can write something like that. Here you can see European West, Docker, and something like that. So where you are deploying, it's on you which one you choose. For example, we have here multiple US East 4 and Asian North East 2. So you can define here Asian North East 4 and then Docker and that. So once you have that, and then you need to do push your Docker image. So push Docker image to GCP artifact registry that we enabled. As I showed you here, we enable this one artifact registry. uh, Here we have created our GCP with the name of repository as a GCP. So what you need to do here, first of all, you need to tag your image with this. So here is the whole command for tagging the image. So I'm just Docker tag your app name that you have in your local computer. Let me show you here that we created here, this one with a tag name, and then define your center which you created or define in your artifact registry. And then what you need to define your project ID, project ID, sorry for the spell, project ID, that here we have the project ID, and then repository that we have defined project repo. So as you can see here, what is the project repo? Here is the repo that we have defined inside the artifact registry. I'm just clicking on this. You can see here the part. Here is our cloud center, and then we have our project ID, and then we have our repository. You can copy it here if you want. So for example, if you see here, and after tagging app, so you can see here is the whole path that I'm trying to define here, and then you define the name of the app whatever you want. So here is the name of the app at the end. So once you done this one, the next step is to push your uh, container. So pushing your container to that repository with the name of that you defined here. You need to push this whole to the uh, cloud that you have defined. So once you push, then the last command is that to deploy or run. So then you deploy your image with the name this image, and that the repository that you have defined with the app name and the region where you are running that cloud. So once you run this step, so it will run your application. If it didn't work, you just need to increase your RAM. So how we did cloud run, you need to go to the cloud run and see your app, and then edit and deploy new versions where you just need to increase the instance of this container to 1 GB. So once you're done, and your app will be run on the Google Cloud server. So finally you will see your application on a Google Cloud. So I hope so you understand the whole step how we can deploy our app successfully to GCP. In the next video, I will run the same Docker image that we have for AMD64 because I'm running this one from Mac Silicon operating system that I have. So I will run AMD on Amazon Web Service. So previous video, as I mentioned in the previous video, you can see how I created in this video. You can see how I uh, created the app and deploy on the server. This video is just based on the whole steps, how I created the Flask app and then deploy on the Docker and the final Azure. In this video, I just only replaced the Azure cloud and to GCP. We have run this app on to GCP. In the next video, we're gonna run the same app and send Docker token container, I mean to say, the project that we have created, and then with the help of Docker container we deploy the same project. What we're gonna do, we will run that one using the Amazon AWS server. So hope you like this video. If you have still any question, you can ask me. I will answer your question. One last thing keep in your mind before ending, once you run the entire project, make sure you shut down that app or maybe stop this app, otherwise it will utilize all the resources and you have to pay later once you your credit get finish. For example, they are giving you $300 and it will be costly for you. It will use all the resources. So for that, what you need to do, so here is the app. So you just go there into the app and try to close that app, try to stop that app, and then that will go to the project setting. You can delete it if you want here, delete your Flask app, but there is another options. You can delete your Flask app, or maybe there is a lot of options. You can go to your project settings and you can see shutdown. So you can shut down your project, and there is other ways also. So I'm using this one to shut down my project so that it will not utilize any resources. So otherwise it will use your resources, and once the 300 will use, so then it will automatically deduct some amount for your credit card. So better to terminate your project or stop. That would be better approach. I hope you understand the whole concept, how we can deploy the Docker container using machine learning or deep learning to GCP, and how we can run deep learning app on GCP. See you in the next video. I will come with a new video with AWS.